Hey guys, I know we're all patiently awaiting tonight's video with me and my sister together explaining how we found out together and what all happened that day. But I did just want to come and give a little bit of a prequel. I know many of you may have seen my sister's video where she mentioned that she had been in a little bit of contact with two of the previous victims. So she did have somewhat of an idea of what was going on prior to the funeral, but we didn't know, she didn't know about the third victim until after he died. I, like she said, will not reveal who these people are, and I will not reveal what family members they are, just out of respect for them. But when all of this started, prior to his arrest, when the FBI raids were going on and all the drama was starting, I was living about 2 hours away from the majority of my family, and I was extremely sick. As I mentioned in a previous video, I do have health issues. My stomach, I have really severe issues with my stomach. But when everybody else was getting COVID, I got pneumonia, and I couldn't kick it for months. And then when I finally did, I could not gain the weight back because I already had the stomach issues. So I weighed about 80 pounds. I'm 5'7". My doctor was very concerned for me. She was very concerned that I was going to die because I couldn't gain weight. I couldn't absorb the nutrients that my body needed. So she did put me on a medication usually reserved for cancer patients. And then what it does for them is it stops their body from making any hormones that could fuel the cancer. For me, it was to force my stomach to, I guess, get hungry and to eat. Like if I didn't eat every 30 minutes, I would feel like I was going to throw up, like I hadn't eaten all day. So I did gain weight. I did get healthier. However, this medication came with a lot of side effects. So I was very low contact with most of my family, not due to any drama per se, but because I was so sick and I lived so far away from them. They all had their own lives going on. My sister, when she was in contact with the victims, I was unaware at that point because, like I said, I was very low contact with everyone. But the oldest victim, there were rumors about that growing up in our childhood, but originally the rumor wasn't that he was grooming her and assaulting her and all of the awful things. It was that they had an affair, because by that point, by the time anyone knew about it, she was grown. We now know that he groomed her into all of those behaviors, and it carried on into adulthood for her. And that does break my heart for her. It caused a lot of tension in the family growing up. The second victim, she was also someone very close to us and a part of the family, you could say, for years. And whenever she was ready to tell her story, she disappeared. She kind of cut all of us out of her life, and she didn't do this because we did anything wrong. I mean, we were teenagers. We didn't know what happened. She just did not want to hurt us, and she didn't want us to find out about it at that time because we were teenagers when she finally became ready to tell her story. And again, kind of same situation with the first victim. Groomed, possibly carried on into adulthood. I haven't pressed her for many details, and I will not. I will not press either one of them for details because what they went through is horrific. And I do want to add that the family dynamic was very different prior to all of this. Even though I was very low contact with my family, it didn't stop my mom from calling me all the time with some drama. Oh, your papa's house was raided. They held him at gunpoint. They were digging up the yard for bodies. So and so is saying he's done this. But none of it was the truth. And Lorraine, my sister, prior to all of this, had no contact with my mother. And that's a story for another time that I will let her tell you. We do have 2 other sisters that we do not really speak to, and a lot of it has to do with all of this. Now, like my sister and I stated, we were not my grandfather's victims, ever, but I was someone's victim. And now, knowing all this, it makes sense that my mom and my grandpa really didn't care when it happened to me. Thank God for my grandmother. She is the one who, made the call when she found out, and all of that. That's also a story for another time. But basically, I was living 2 hours away. I was sick. He did get arrested while I was still living 2 hours away. While he was in jail, I moved back and started visiting him. And I think we can pick up from there in tonight's story. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We will be explaining as much as we can tonight, but I just wanted to give you guys this little bit of background information.